Hello, welcome to another episode of Betting on Golf with RJ McCullough. I am, of course, RJ McCullough. Last week we almost had another winner, but all in all, not a bad week. Ricky Fowler managed to get the win at the Waste Management. My picks were finished 3rd, 7th, 10th, and 20th. So 4 out of 5 finished in the top 10. All 5 in the top 20. So not a bad week. Matchups, we went 2-0-1. So all in all, last week was quite a good week. But we'll have to get back into the winning circle this week. And the tournament this week is the Pebble Beach AT&T Pro-Am. It's a 72-hole stroke play event, like most events on the PGA Tour. But this is another one that has 3 courses in rotation. So we've got Pebble Beach Golf Links, of course, Spyglass Hill Golf Course, and Monterey Peninsula Country Club, the shore course. Obviously, everyone knows Pebble Beach, but the whole Monterey Peninsula, that whole area, just some of the nicest, most picturesque, beautiful golf in the land. Definitely on the bucket list. A lot of these, this part of the schedule has courses or events that are on the bucket list. So this is yet another one. Usually the last bunch of years it's been they've pretty much been spoiled with sunshine, but this year the forecast is for rain, so that's going to make the course play longer, but it also makes the play a bit wider because the ball's not going to run out as much. So it is an advantage to the bombers, and it is an advantage to those guys that stick their approach shots close to the pin, not the guys that run it up, stuff like that. So bit of an advantage there for those guys. Key players in the field this week. We have the debut of my second favorite golfer in the world. This guy's just vaulting to the top of everyone's either most loved or most hated list. There's not much in between. Ho-Sung Choi. It's his first time, I think, being in the U.S., setting foot on U.S. soil. His first PGA Tour event, of course. And, I mean, I'm excited. I doubt he's going to make the cut. But just the camaraderie amongst guys watching him, the crowd, just everything about Ho-Sung Choi has me infatuated. So I am going to be eyes peeled for Ho-Sung Choi. But we've also got other big names: Patrick Cantlay, Jason Day, Tony Finau, Tommy Fleetwood, DJ, Matt Kuchar, Phil Mickelson, Patrick Reed, Jordan Spieth, to name a few. It's also a celebrity pro-am, so there's going to be guys playing at least the first 3 rounds, and then whoever makes the cut goes into the final round back at Pebble. So some of the big name celebrities got Larry Fitzgerald, obviously wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals, Toby Keith, Aaron Rodgers, Ray Romano, Tony Romo, Darius Rucker, Matt Ryan, the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, Kelly Slater, probably the best surfer of all time. Obviously a lot more. What else we got? Last year wasn't a very exciting. I mean, it had the potential to be an all-time final round, but Ted Potter kind of shit on that. He won by 3 strokes, but tied for second, you had Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson, and Dustin Johnson. So, I mean, it could have been quite a week. Usually the winning score comes in around between 14 and 20 under par. So not the lowest of scores, but certainly not a tough event. All right. So let's get into the main stuff. Handicapping the field with the course expected to play long this week, as I said. Some of the general other traits of the 3 courses, meld that together. My stats that I'm using this week: strokes gained total, strokes gained approach, strokes gained tee to green, driving distance, opportunities gained, and proximity to hole. Other factors in my rankings include betting odds, recent strokes gained, recent form, strokes gained in this event, recent finishes in this event, and the simulator rank, which again is from fantasynational.com. They simulate 1,000 simulations of the event, I guess you can say. So without further ado, my top 5 this week. Matt Kuchar is number 5. He comes in at 25-1. His last 3 finishes: a 4th, a 1st, and a 19th. Hasn't fared too well in this event, 62nd and a missed cut, but he is my 5th. In 4th, Jason Kokrak. He is at 50-1 this week. Recent finishes: 20th, and 18th. And in this event, he's finished 35th, 23rd, 30th, missed cut, and 19th in the past 5 iterations, or past 5 he's played in. So maybe not the best here, but consistent And in the stats category, he sits 5th. So look for him as a bit of a sleeper. Patrick Cantlay always plays well in California, from California. Just through and through a California boy. He is at 25-1. Recent finishes, miscut in his last start, but before that he had a 9th and a 5th. His last 2 starts of this event are 35th and a 48th. He is 2nd in the stats and 6th in the simulator. 2nd this week in my rankings. At 25-1, I've got Ches Reavie. Really good recent form. 4th, 28th, and 3rd. And in this event, he's finished 2nd last year. Before that, he had a miscut. The year before that, 26th, and another miscut. He sits 4th in the stats to finish 2nd overall in my rankings. And number 1 this week, always does well on this course, always does well in this event, Dustin Johnson. He's a favorite for a reason. He just won in Europe. He is 6-1, so not very good odds, but 4th and 7th in his last 2 PGA Tour starts. First last week on the European Tour. This event, he finished 2nd last year, 3rd before that, 41st, 4th, and 2nd. So 4 of his last 5 starts here were top 4 finishes. So that's ridiculous. Strokes gained in this event, 49.73. I mean, that pretty much says it all. He ranks 2nd, second in this event in strokes gained, 2nd in the simulator, 7th in the stats, and 1st overall. So Dustin Johnson takes that mantle this week. See if one of those guys can add a 3rd win to the total. Players I don't like this week. So players I would recommend avoiding or fading. Cameron Champ. Cameron Champ reasons are 67th, miscut, 73rd, and 11th. Last 4 starts. He comes in at 50-1. Not a fan of that. Matthew Fitzpatrick also comes in at 50-1. He has not played on the PGA Tour in a while, has not played on this course, so not really much to go off, but not liking him this week. And Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim, 66-1, miscut, and 29th and 40th this year. Miscut and the 35th here on this course. Just don't like Siwoo this week. On the other hand, players with value, or if you're doing daily fantasy sports, players I would highly recommend getting on their side would be Joel Dahman. He sits 150-1, but is 3rd in my simulator, and he has a 9th and a 22nd. Also has a miscut, but a 9th and a 22nd. Recently, Trey Mullinax, he's at 100-1, but a 15th, 25th, 34th in his last 3 starts. He has a 14th on this course 2 years ago. And Taylor Gooch, I like Taylor Gooch this week. He's 80-1. But he already has 2 top 5s this year in his last 4 starts. And he's only played this event once with a miscut, but that's okay. And he sits 1st overall in my stats ranking. So we've gone through top 5. We've gone through who to fade, who to avoid. We've gone through the value picks, the DFS players. Now let's get to the matchups. This week, I like Taylor Gooch versus Michael Thompson. I'm going to take Taylor Gooch in that one. Kevin Streelman versus Ryan Palmer. I'm going to take Ryan Palmer. Trey Mullinax versus Pat Perez. I've got Trey. And finally, Russell Knox versus Andrew Putnam. I have Russell Knox. So, that is it for this week. I already told you my total for last week, so we add that to the yearly total. We have got my top 5 picks every week. I've had 2 winners. And 15 out of the 25 picks that I've made have finished in the top 10. Matchups overall in the year, really well, 8, 3, and 2. So keep throwing money down on those. Other than that, if you want to check out a much more detailed look where you can analyze the data, see the spreadsheets, see some other links and what's going on with this tournament, please check out teeingoffblog.com. Or my Twitter, RJ McCullough. That's RJMCCULLOUGH. And check that out. Aside from that, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll make you some money this week. And let me know if I do. Other than that, talk to you next week.